I'm asking you a very direct question. You presented a piece of evidence that you say came on August 6, 2017, that demonstrates that Joe Biden was using political influence to help his son. If he wasn't a political figure at that time, the first WhatsApp message you put up, how does that demonstrate that there's some sort of political influence being put over him if at that time he is not he's not an elected official?
I'm definitely not going to pinpoint one item. I think we've outlined.
You presented it. It was your first thing that you brought up.
Oof. Things are not going well for House Republicans seeking to impeach President Joe Biden. Now, what you just watched was Republican Representative Jason Smith from Missouri fumbling pretty hard during a press conference yesterday, alleging that there was, in fact, some sort of connection between President Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings. Republicans are alleging that Joe Biden sold his access, sold his influence in an effort to secure tens of millions of dollars from foreign business people. But the evidence has not been presented yet. And as you can tell from that exchange, which involved NBC's Ryan Nobles, Republicans can't even seem to get their timeline right. I mean, it was just embarrassing to say the least. So why don't we take a little more, why don't we look a little more at how that exchange went down, and then I'll fill you in on the rest.
If I'm not mistaken, August 7th, 2020, Bill Barr was the Attorney General and Donald Trump was the president. So explain to me where the two-tiered system of justice comes into play. And then the WhatsApp message you have, I believe is dated June 6, 2017. Joe Biden is not vice president or even a candidate for president at that time. So where is the direct connection to some sort of criminal malfeasance within these two pieces of evidence?
It doesn't matter who's in the White House. We need to make sure that the Department of Justice works for all people and doesn't treat those who are politically connected or wealthy much differently.
You suggested that Joe Biden being the president now is unfairly treating Donald Trump in his indictments?
What I'm talking about is the 700 pages that we have before us, which is all the information that came from the IRS whistleblowers.
Can you explain the timing then of the August 6th WhatsApp message? Why is that evidence of some wrongdoing?
I'm not an expert on the timeline. I would love to have President Biden and his family to tell us about all the timelines.
But if he's not the president or the vice president at that time, where's the wrongdoing? He wasn't even a candidate for president at that time.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Corn Pop was a bad dude. That was so embarrassing. Guys, you're gonna hold a press conference. You're gonna move forward with impeachment hearings. Do you really think that you can just like skate on by with nonsense, with no evidence, not even knowing the timeline of what you are accusing the president of the United States of doing? It's unbelievable. So let's break this down, okay? Break down all the information that the House Ways and Means Committee has in regard to these allegations against President Joe Biden. So Committee Chairman Jason Smith, the clown that you just saw in that video, summarized that the trove of material provided to the committee by two IRS whistleblowers who are now getting sued by Hunter Biden showed Joe Biden's political power and influence was the brand that Hunter Biden was selling all over the world, and that it also suggests an effort to sway US policy decisions. Now, Smith highlighted a couple of items from the contents, including a WhatsApp message that he said was written by Hunter Biden to a business associate on June 6th, 2017. Who was president? Trump. Trump was president June 6th, 2017. And who was Trump's vice president? Was it Joe Biden? No, it was Mike Pence, the guy that was debating last night. Okay, good. It's important to know that context. I'll continue. In the message from June 6th, 2017, when Donald Trump was president of the United States, Hunter Biden writes in the WhatsApp message, "Bullcrap, James, all around bullcrap. Explain to me one thing Tony brings to my table that I so desperately need that I'm willing to sign over my family's brand and pretty much the rest of my business life. What the effing documents, read the effing documents, people. It's plain effing English. Why in God's name would I give this marginal bully the keys, my family's only asset?" Now look, we don't know the context surrounding that, clearly. But apparently that's a piece of evidence that Republicans have latched onto as part of their impeachment-related investigation into Joe Biden. Now Smith claims that the family asset is Joe Biden. That Hunter Biden talks about his father that way, that his father is a family asset. Okay, great. But remember, Joe Biden has no political power during this time because what was the date again, guys? Was June 6th. What was the year again? 2017. Say it, give it to me like aggressively, John.
June 6th, 2017.
I hope you guys heard him, okay? He's a little shy, but come on. So there's more to this. Around that same time, Hunter Biden divorced his wife, Kathleen Buell, and spent some time basically living in his father's home in Wilmington. And this is again in 2017. Now look, that might sound weird, like moving back in with your dad, but a lot of people do that after they went through a divorce. Like you need to find a place to live and temporarily you'll move in with a family member or a friend until you get back on your feet. And it appears that's what Hunter Biden did. Now Hunter listed his dad's house as the billing address for his personal credit card and Apple account in both 2018 and 2019. Ooh, seems real shady. James Comer revealed Tuesday of this week that Hunter Biden then received 2 payments from Beijing in 2019. Okay, now House Committee on Oversight and Accountability Chairman Comer today announced the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed and obtained 2 bank wires revealing Hunter Biden received payments originating from Chinese nationals, including Jonathan Lee, in July and August 2019 when Joe Biden was running for president of the United States. Joe Biden's Wilmington, Delaware home is listed as the beneficiary address for both wires because Hunter Biden was living there. Now remember, this is in 2019 when Joe Biden is presumably running for president. But actually, even that's unclear because we don't know if Hunter Biden received those payments before Hunter Biden officially announced he was running for president or a little after. But honestly, I think it's a bit of a moot point because at that point, he's candidate Joe Biden. He is not the president of the United States. He has no influence or power to sell. That is super relevant, but I will continue. During last night's episode of The Five, the resident Democrat or liberal, I guess, on that show, Jessica Tarlov, tried to explain the discrepancies in Comer's claims and the case that Republicans are trying to build against President Joe Biden. Let's watch.
I think that we all know how wire transactions work. So when you fill out the information of who you're wiring it to, you don't write Big Guy's house, Wilmington, Delaware. You put in your account numbers, right? It goes to Hunter Biden's account. And James Comer knows this. He also knows that Hunter Biden's personal account, which was with Wells Fargo, had been registered in Wilmington, Delaware. He, by the way, moved back in with his parents, as many grown men do when they get divorced, in 2017. So not only did he have his bank account registered there, he had his personal credit card, his Apple account, and his driver's license was a Delaware.
So you can bribe the son of the presidential candidate. That's fine.
First of all, this is going on that entire period when Joe Biden was not a candidate.
It was 2019, he'd already announced.
Yeah, I actually checked the dates.
He'd
On the
announced.
announcement. The money went to Hunter Biden. When you have the money going to Joe Biden, then you're gonna have progress on
So you can bribe the family members.
He was a candidate for president in 2019. And even again, I wanna reiterate, we don't even know if Hunter Biden received those 2 payments a little before or a little after Biden announced. But when Biden announced, he was merely a candidate for president of the United States. He wasn't a governor of a state like, let's say, Ron DeSantis. He was holding no elected office. It's super important to keep that in mind. And so in April 25th of 2019, there was an announcement video focused on Charlottesville, Virginia, and some aides advised that Biden would soon have a campaign launch rally there, okay? It never happened. An April 29th visit to a Union Hall in Pittsburgh did take place, although aides aggressively insisted it was not the actual start of the campaign. Eventually, the campaign started with a rally on May 19th, a few blocks from the campaign ground base in Philadelphia. So Hunter Biden did in fact receive these funds after Joe Biden, possibly after Joe Biden announced his run. However, the account was in Hunter Biden's name, meaning Hunter Biden took that money. He's the one who got paid. This whole case, this whole allegation against Joe Biden is that he's the one who was selling his access and his influence. Where is the evidence of that? Like what do people think happened? That Hunter Biden took 2 different payments from businessmen in China, and then what? Like took out some cash at an ATM and handed it over to Biden, and then Biden laundered the money? Like, what is the accusation here and where is the evidence? But guys, like the most frustrating part about all of this is, yes, it's a waste of time, waste of resources, absolutely. But it's also super annoying because the impeachment inquiry is launched by House Republicans, the same House of Representatives that is ensuring that we're barreling past the deadline and leading to a government shutdown. They can't be bothered to work out whatever nonsense differences they have among one another to ensure that the government is funded. Something that's really important for, active duty military who will not get paid if the government's not open. Something that's super important to Social Security recipients who will not get their Social Security checks during a government shutdown. But House Republicans can't be bothered with that because they have Donald Trump in their ear whining and crying about how, I got impeached for demanding that Volodymyr Zelensky announce a sham investigation into the Bidens. That didn't work out so well for me, so now I'm gonna force you guys to do a sham investigation into the Bidens. And it's embarrassing. So embarrassing that today's hearings were, amusing, entertaining, but also depressing when you consider the fact that these are elected lawmakers who have our lives in their hands, who have the well-being of the entire country in their hands. It is a joke, absolute joke. If they had evidence that proved that Joe Biden engaged in any illegal behavior or activity, we would have seen it by now. But we haven't seen it because they don't have it. They're making up allegations and trying to find the evidence after the fact to make their case. And they have failed spectacularly.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a Young Turk.